Have you ever noticed how the holidays can take a perfectly fantastic person, like let's say a Mrs. Claus, and turn them into a Grinch? Girl, you got some Grinch. Today I'm going to give you three things that turn me into a Grinch, and I'm guessing you're going to be able to relate to, and how we can become more like Mrs. Claus, less like the girl Grinch. But before we get into that, last week I talked about the gift of context, and yesterday was such a cool example of that. I was heading to perform some of my comedy, and some of you have said, I didn't know you do comedy. Well, let me just say that there are a lot of different sides to Janae. Oftentimes, you see me as a motivational speaker or perhaps someone all about women and girls empowerment, but I really am a practical joker, and I love to have fun. I've been doing stand up comedy for a long time, and it's been kind of a hobby, and now I am leaning into that. And you'll have to check out one of my comedy shows next year as we're taking this show on the road with tour. But yesterday I went to one of these shows, and we pull up in the pink bus, and it was so funny to watch people just look at the bus like they didn't really understand the bus. And even though it's a cool pink bus, people like to take pictures, they don't engage with it. Well, after I gave context on what the bus is about and how it really is on mission to remind us that we all have stuff and it's okay to not be okay. Suddenly, people wanted to interact with her. Yes, I call the bus a her. And it just reminded me, like, that's the gift of context. It gave people meaning. So even shiny, fun objects, like if someone gives me a big, beautiful diamond, if I don't have context, then I'm not going to appreciate it as much. So again, this holiday season, I hope that you'll give the gift of context, and even context in conversations, because sometimes we have to have tough conversations, especially around the holidays. Give that gift of context. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I value our friendship. That was just an example. So that was last week. Today, I want to be completely vulnerable with you. I love spreading positivity. I really do. And kindness, compassion, all the things. But I am not perfect. And occasionally, Girl Grinch comes out. And I see it particularly around the holidays, or maybe I'm more in tune to it around the holidays, in three ways. And I'm guessing that you may be like me and you've seen the Girl Grinch come out. The first one is perfection. We have lots of holiday parties that we host. I also love, we've got ornaments that we've collected over the years, and typically even decorating the tree is a very sweet time as we reminisce about the ornaments. However, yesterday I noticed my son putting the ornaments in the wrong place on the tree. Now you may be asking, is there a right place, and how do you know it? There technically is no one right place for the ornaments. However, the perfectionist in me would love to say that certain ornaments need to go here, other ornaments need to go there. And when I am focused on the little things that are really not the little things, I miss the bigger picture, which is the fact that my son, who is 9 years old, still wants to decorate the tree with mom. Super sweet. Holiday baking is a similar example. He wants to be in the kitchen with me, and I'm like, he's making a mess of things. When he cracks eggs, there are parts of the shell that go into the bowl. But I'm focused on the wrong things, because what won't matter, the eggshells, that will matter. But the good news is you can pull those out. But what I can't pull out are the memories that holiday baking with mom will forever last in his brain. So this holiday season, the first thing that can help us push us over the edge and becoming a girl Grinch is that perfection. as I'm preparing for holiday parties. I want to make sure everything is just perfect. The dishes, the food, the drinks. We have Santa Claus come, and he's got to be perfect too. But when I am focused on perfection, I miss out on the people and being present. And you've heard me say this, that the gift of your presence is the best present. So let perfection go. Focus on the people, not the perfection. The second thing that causes me to become a girl Grinch, and I'm curious if this is you as well, is when I focus on myself. Ugh. This whole Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, while it can serve a great purpose to buy presents at a discounted price, for me, spirit of transparency, it also can be a reason to buy things I don't need. And I get all caught up in me and what I'm getting for Christmas. And some of you may be listening to this and you may be judging me, and I'm just being real with you all. And if that's not a struggle you have, then I'm guessing you have others. But that is a struggle I have, is like, I really am others focused most of the time. But there are times that I become fleshly. I am human and I focus on myself and what I want for Christmas, the things I want to do, how I want to spend holiday time. And when I do that, my expectations, even if they're expressed expectations, are rarely met. But B, a greater thing is I tend to miss the joy of the holidays because I'm focused on my have-nots versus on what I have. So when I'm focused on myself, I'm focused, I don't have everything I want to do this holiday season. Instead of, I have an incredible family. I have an amazing career. I have. And that also helps me have a posture and a spirit of joy. So I'm just, to my fellow self-centered girl Grinches, I see you. And some of the ways that I have found for me to get out of myself is to get into others. When I see myself being self-absorbed, I will call a nonprofit. So in Wichita Falls, which is where we're currently living, there is a homeless shelter. It's called Faith Mission. And I will literally call them and say, can I come serve? And literally that perspective helps me get away from Girl Grinch, get out of myself and into others. So the first one we noticed was perfectionism. Second one being focused on self, which kind of leads to the third one. And that is when I get tired of all of those asking for money. We give, we love to give. And in fact, one of the things we try to do as a family every year around Christmas, and I do it with my women's groups as well, is we pick one project that we can go serve and we can go give and do. And I have found that when I'm giving of my time, that is no big deal. But when you ask me for money, I get a little prickly. And recently, we had lined out our holiday giving, if you will, and someone reached out and said, hey, we're short a couple of families that we want to adopt for the holidays. Can you help? And my first reaction was not like, oh yes, sign me up. But rather it was, let me total up all of the other amounts that I'm giving and causes that I'm giving to this holiday season. Let me see where it fits in my budget. See, I'm going back to the me. Instead of absolutely. I mean, gang, they were wanting $50. I think I can find the $50. Guess what? I can skip getting my nails done. I can miss a meal or two of eating out, and the $50 will be there. And I was really disappointed in myself, maybe even a little embarrassed that I had become so self-consumed that I was bothered by those in need. And I realized that for me, I think that's the enemy, the devil, that we are in a culture and a world that says, Hey, it's all about media. It's all about media. Get it? Social media. And in the world of social media, what do people post? Pictures about themselves. And so we live in a society that says it should be all about us. Live your best life, get everything you want. And that is actually counterculture to true happiness. Because what I know for me is that when I give of my time, my talent, and yes, my monetary treasures, A, you can't ever outgive God, but B, it fills my soul in a way that I never imagined. And so, as we are approaching Giving Tuesday, I'm going to encourage you to think about what causes are important to you and to your heart. Maybe it's feeding the homeless, maybe it's kids, maybe it's hope for the next generation to have a better future. And if that is you, feel free to donate to h3ministries.org. But seriously, like these podcasts, what we've been doing through television and through media for our next generation, that's a nonprofit. And I don't often ask for donations because I don't like to be asked for money. But the fact is, it truly is better to give than to receive. And there are so many great causes out there. So I would encourage each of us, myself included, skip the Starbucks this week, and whatever money you would spend on Starbucks or whatever your, little daily vice is, let's donate that to a nonprofit, a cause close to our hearts. So, gals, we do not want to be the girl Grinch. So let's let go of perfection. And with that, that does require overlooking. Look out for others versus what are we getting. It should be about what are we giving. And that's kind of the third point, is it truly is better to give than to receive. If you've been blessed by anything you've heard today, I'd love it if you would share this with a friend. Friends don't let friends listen alone. And shameless plug, it is Giving Tuesday coming up. So h3ministries.org, you can make a tax-deductible contribution if you want to see our next generation have some really good tools, be seen for who they are, even if who they are is really different and quirky like me. We want to have hope for our next generation. And that's not just going to happen. It takes intention. It takes a lot of focus on things that will speak to them. And that's what we're doing at Unbroken. So shameless plug for h3ministries.org. But you don't have to give to us. I would encourage all of us to give this Giving Tuesday. And next week, you are going to love, love, love the message. So stay tuned. Some really fun stuff. And a big announcement is coming in our way. I just got back from New York and some big things are in the works. Stay tuned. And remember, share this with a friend.